On screen, ciao before.
Ciao bello! Is that it? Okay, ciao bellos! Boom! Like Martin's presentations, they all start like boom! You like it? I love it.
Honestly, Booba.
Yeah, but
that's always the case.
But that's Booba. I don't even try. Okay. So questions. Have you ever been part of a virtual team? No. Yes. How was it? Yeah. Goal of the session is for you to get to know how, because NST, of course, is virtual team is a lot. So.
1 year, our discipline virtual team.
How was
at the beginning? Really excited, interesting. What is the current better, I guess. They know how to build right setting experience, proper strategy. This is a long strategy, and
how many
standard implementation.
How many meetings did you have as a team member? You were team member, not team leader in the NST virtual. You forgot the team meeting.
No, I had meetings. I forgot to say that.
But you have regular team meetings once a week?
Once a week. It's been a bit tough because I was VP for all the year, all the experience, and I never stopped. Just only and one that I hate, there is no closing part.
The closing part? Why is that?
Missing.
Always missing.
No transition to the next team, and
what do you say exactly? In your LC, you don't have that as well, or in the NST?
No.
I think it's very
But I never thought about closing or transition to NSTs. But this is hard for me. Everything, from one semester to another, okay, but from one term to another, I change to NST. Well, I don't know. I never thought about that.
One thing I think what is missing there is that usually when you do EB to EB, you have recruitment of the EB way earlier and then you do it. Whereas now, my NST team is going to finish for 1st August. They are going to leave with me, and you probably at 1st August, you don't even have your NSTs, right? So that's probably how it gets lost a lot of times. That's why the sense of urgency of getting it fast is also good, right? If you get them before my team leaves, then there is time to do it there.
For example, for my NST, always I'm not understanding much. That was not a problem, but yes, in the end, it's always the same. At the beginning, it's so wow, and after 2 months, you want to quit, but actually, I don't quit. So, but a lot of people.
Also invited Lucian, that is double NST in this federation. Do you share the same thoughts about? Yeah.
And then 2 different teams.
No problem.
I also like Laura. What she's like 2 hours just decorating. Okay. Sorry to interrupt. Yes, sorry, Jane.
It's okay. Express your creativity.
I guess what begins at first is the excitement of being a part of a new team, and we have 2 meetings a week, it's great, whatever. And then after a while it dies down, the excitement dies down because it becomes a routine and you have less and less team meetings and like for example, remember the last team meeting and digital marketing as well, it's been a month, 2 months. Anyway, so you feel less engaged and motivation kind of things.
One thing that I like so much in my next NST experience is that our JD and our MLS were strictly linked to the national strategy. So we knew which was the contribution we were delivering for the national strategy, for the national goal. I always NST consultant to GB. And now I'm OGB, OGB special. So, yes. But it was nice because I've been NST to different MC. The first one was shit. The second one, now it's yes. But
one thing talking also to Jane is about making NSTs feel special, kind of. Lujan was or talking to NSTs. I don't know if I could target Lujan, that's okay. Maybe just say what you were telling me earlier.
I discussed it with these guys, but not making them feel special.
yeah.
But just appreciating them and them knowing the difference between their work and how, like the MOS, so how they can know they're appreciated, they know they're succeeding, not succeeding, whatever. And yeah. Exactly. For example, in the Netherlands, they have something that is really good, especially now. They put out applications for NST like 2 weeks ago, I think. And during that time, they posted photos of their current NSTs with a little presentation of, hey, this was the persona, she contributed to the strategy of digital marketing this year. She was great. If you have any questions when you're applying, ask her. And there was a post like that every day of a new NST because I think they have a lot of NSTs. And so, one, they're appreciated, they're recognized, the network, the federation knows they exist, which and here they don't really. I don't know, I think it's super, super important.
The question that I have for you people that are here in this session, do you prefer, I was thinking about more open space for this session, open space discussing and sharing and all of that. Do you want me to go straight to the point what I have to tell you, and then if you need to can have a bigger break, you have a bigger break? Which one do you prefer?
For me, yeah, let's share what you need to share, and then we can have a discussion space on top of the information that we received from you, and like a comparison that like what didn't happen this year, and if we finish, and we take it out.
Yeah, okay. So how was NST this year? So I had 4 NSTs in finance, 3 people auditing, 1 business analytics, Kara, and auditing team. Now the idea is that the recommendations here for next year is when, as you were saying, and as why I also was asking questions, because now I wanted to bounce back on what was said. The year before it was 1 person doing all of the audits, now it's 3. When I was talking to the person of the last year, that person said that it was too much. So as a recommendation, 1 person doing a lot of work is, he actually said I wanted to kill myself. It wasn't done. And also one thing that I was seeing in other federations, a recommendation is also doing 6 months, and then by the end of the 6 months reviewing. Okay, if you want, you can keep it because we already did 6 months, but now I give you a way out if you want to escape, because maybe it's been painful, since, as you were saying in the beginning as well, and then, so it's really to see. Anyway, you can find the NSTs. Recommendations about that. I didn't do that. I kept them for all year long because I knew that I had NSTs from this federation. My personal perspective is that if I could train people from my federation to know how to pass to do an audit, they'll know how to do an audit. So I'm not losing time training someone else to then train mine. So that's why it's really, knowledge is really straight to the point. That's why for me, everyone should be, like in finance, everyone from the federation. I'm training the people that are going to contribute for here. And actually, one of the NSTs was a Brazilian that I took, also Brazilian. Why? Because I thought I didn't want us to just be what is happening in France. And it was actually super interesting to know how audits are being held in Brazil. And she gave us some cool ideas of how could we improve the audits and so on. So that was the structure. Then in CX Youth, there was 3 regional network consultants, then international relations Brazil US, and then international relations Turkey, and value delivery specialist. If the person considering to talk, you can, but mainly the idea here was different from network consultants. Yes, from my understanding, it was some people from the network, because of course, if you are managing the network, it's good to have someone that knows the network and so on. But then in IR, that was at some point the idea. In IR, of course, the idea is that also if you have international relations from someone over there is good. Value delivery, it depends. But here it's more on it can be someone from anywhere. MCP, CXP, PD. This was the current structure. What you can see is that we have this year a lot of demand in shortlisting. That's what we're really missing. One thing that is cool is the team leader, so that the MCVP, when he loses, if he might lose focus, then you still have the team leader that is doing implementation of team standards. And here, as it may have been presented, we didn't have, we did, when Amza came, the focus was no longer IGV, so we had someone IGV support. So the idea here was that kind of, I don't want to take care of IGV, so I'll have someone in NST taking care of that, someone that is highly performant or that has been improving that self, so that me, I can focus in IGT. So in this situation, the idea is that you can really, if it's not your focus and if it's still running, you can give it to NST, kind of the idea. And MCPOD, all of that I knew was ICOM specialist, and it was only for internal communication in the first semester. From what I saw, it didn't work so well, but go.
Brazil, was really complicated. Interpretation is something that you need to post. And he was like, okay, you want it pretty or you want it done by me? Most of the time, they prefer it done by me. So, like, at some point, they start to be relevant. For the second semester, because most of my JD was relocated, I did.
Great. And TM, there was 3 network consultants, and the ISAP Hub implementer. The network consultants was mostly the steering team with VPs and so on. I think from here, from what I got, was the same principle of being training people from the federation that will train people from the federation. Of course, you cannot. I think as when you have a commission to manage, you cannot believe that you'll be able to manage 20 or 18 people at the same time. And so this is a recommendation that I personally give, is focus on 5 people, and is already quite a lot. And those 5 people, try to make them as much as engaged to focus on other 5 people, and that way it can go very fast. So this was what do they have in common, kind of the idea. So it was mainly the ideas that I was putting. Closer relation between MC to LC. So like digital marketing, I didn't.
So the digital marketing so digital marketing was the biggest structure and not as here I was part of the it was an experience. But basically you are divided in creation of content and social media management. So in creation of content, you have 2 videographers, 2 bloggers, 2 graphic designers, And in social media, we have the Instagram manager, Facebook manager, LinkedIn, we tried to have like some people, but it didn't work that well. And the thing with Nerita is that she has a really big team, but she reallocated it according to the one NST left. She reshaped the team, put it in another positions. It was really different to people try what was the NST. We knew that she had a lot of NSTs and a lot of people with the NST of Nerita. Like for me, it was clear at the beginning. Like I was doing a booklet, but after that, no. It was really big. And for me, it was good. It was well handled.
A lot of creation content, yeah.
But like the structure.
And I'm sorry I never told this to Noelita, but I don't know, me, my personal idea, I never asked her, but it's too much people. Like to manage 15 people, even if you're full-time, it's a lot of time, and in the end you're only managing people, and it depends. To be honest, I didn't ask her and we didn't talk a lot, but the idea of managing 5 people that will then manage other people is.
But the difference between marketing and the rest is that there is no commission to handle. And so the only commission to handle is the NSTs. And the NSTs is different from the other NSTs. We need to create content and stuff for the Facebook page. And sometimes we had schedules that would differ. And so only, for example, 2 graphic designers would be available for 2 weeks and the rest won't be there. So we had a lot of work, or everybody was available anyway. And so I think even though it seems like a lot of people, but when you're in the team, it was necessary. Because to get the Facebook page running, first year of the Facebook page being merged, trying to get everybody to like, not really succeeding. And yeah, it's a lot of content, it's a lot of work. So 15 people is very enough.
Some ideas that I would put in your head while selecting the NST team. Bring closer relation MC to LCs. Why I say this, if you actually manage to take from your own commission and so on, it also makes the LCs know what you're actually doing. Being able in your projects, you have closer communication because you're working together. And that's, for me, very important. Transparency or so on, so that they actually know what kind of projects you are working on. So for them not to actually know, because I know when I was VP OGX, there were 15 NSTs as well in OGX. I didn't knew any of them, and to be honest, they were useless. I know sometimes the MCP said, "Oh, contact that person," but then I don't know. I say possible pipeline because in the end you form the people. You hopefully, if you're working together and you manage to share something, it's people that then want to take your position. So while selecting them, think about that. Possible passage for a conference, then if you are training them, of course, and if they are from whether they are from this commission or elsewhere, it's always a good facet to have on hand. And yeah, this is me pitching you choose as much as possible people from France is less problem of communication between NSTs to LCs if it's someone from France. Why? Because of time zone, I would say. I know that Anna, for example, my NST from Brazil, we had a lot of problems, and I'm talking from my experience. It was sometimes very difficult because time zone, there is not a lot of hours where they actually fit. Yes.
Martin was arriving at like I think he was having meetings and we were getting angry.
Oh, you were?
At some point, Martin was having meetings like at 12 p.m. Well, we had discussion about that.
But it wasn't mad. It wasn't getting mad.
No, it was like in terms of health, like it wasn't like like more like at home, so like.
Between again, you see that you are in the meeting, but you are not in the meeting. At some point, I realized that I was there, I was talking, but then you barely listen, you don't think about what you're saying, and yeah, it's true that it's not very productive. And so now yeah, I know that you didn't do this and so on, but you kind of know already what should be the main focuses, and I also wanted to have these kind of ideas. What are the things that are easy to downscale, kind of, for NSTs? That's one question that I would want to ask to you. Like, what is the, I know for finance for example, audit is something that you do every month. It's just routine, part of the routine that needs to happen. This is the kind of things that I would say that you can downscale, because in the end, MCVP is for me like how we describe as well a conference manager or so on. You need to be where you need to be when you need to be. And so if you have the less kind of routine responsibilities, I would say is the best, because then you also have more freedom to be able to support the NSTs if they need you, but you can also be, I know, organizing, being conference manager, and you can be, so kind of the idea, maybe if you can have this space to reflect a little bit. You kind of already might know a bit about your jobs, I guess. So what is that kind of routine that as VP you do, or that you think you can downscale to NSTs? And you have 2 minutes.
As we have in the US, but 20% of the work that you do is relevant. 8%, like for me as an engineer, of my work was these things that are so relevant. That is like sending some, or like that kind of things. Like if it got like 20% of my time, I was super confident. It should be like the time. I was being actually not a machine or a computer. So think about that. Like, don't end with all other recommendations.
Give them a responsibility. They are happy. They are happy to take it. They are happy to feel like they have a huge responsibility. Right? We do not delegate tasks. We delegate responsibilities, and that's how we develop the leadership in our members, by giving them the power not to bring coffee, but to keep people awake. That's the difference.
So let's have an exercise for you to like list the 10 things that you need to do
as part of your JD that you think is routine.
This is my JD, or this will be my JD as MCVP. The 10 things that I need to do are this. 10. Don't go like, oh my god, I do so much. I do information management, I do network management, I do designing, I do hosting, I do something. Make a list of 10 things that are defined in your process. And after that, you identify a market growth of technology.
No, I wasn't.
She discovered technology for her.
Okay. If you want to see that fee structure, replacing guidance. Financial Standards Implementation. Et revoir, analyser un peu tout ça.
No, but it's not a slave. No, but you can have an NST to interpret the list. And that is like to translate what is unique, fragments, network security, network management. No, it's a CDD. Try to track it. Like super functional.
Tu peux avoir quelqu'un pour t'aider à faire le design des posts. Si jamais tu veux faire des. Genre quelqu'un qui. Quoi?
Non.
Bah, si elle veut faire des points,
We said network management is really different.
Is it international community?
No, okay. The NST community management program NST finance.
Regarde les rôles du TFP. T'as une équipe entière sur le marketing. T'as 3 équipes. Ok. Je sais que tu peux recruter. Je sais que tu peux recruter. Qui assiste aux formations.
I think it's funny, NST is here.
Quelqu'un qui va partir à la guerre.
I don't want to come as task though.
Là, tu peux avoir.
Open as management.
Non, mais je vais un avocat pour Bruno.
Yeah, it's not just.
Fais attention à pas les frustrer dans le jeu où ils sont plus contents de partir dans une équipe. Tu peux l'appeler pour financial recommendation. Et du coup, tu fais 3 finances qui font ça. Subcommittee financial recommendation. Et du coup, là, ils continuent le plan et ils essaient de faire plus d'espace pour pouvoir parler avec tout le monde, pour mettre tout le monde à sa place. C'est quoi?
For me, you will have visits.
Prendre peut-être une personne à la une nouvelle série aussi.
Like coaching games,
International, déjà, ouais, c'est clair que c'est cool parce que si j'avais des gens qui se plaignent de ah, mais moi je ne peux pas faire des trucs comme ça, je suis tranquille.
Because like for me,
Do you want to present all of the NST structures so that we can all feedback? The NSTs or no, the 10 tasks and all that you would unscale to the NSTs. Depends.
It depends on what is the NST
and the strategy of the NCT, because I think like this term we did most of the engineering decided to have like 6 month NST, so you have a 6 month and then you have, most of the NCTs. My case, for example, I would have 6 month NST, so that I would have at the end of the semester a review, and then if they want to keep going, then they can actually ask them to reapply, because I allocated them to different positions that they applied for, so if they want to keep going, they apply for another position or not, or I ask them to leave. But not to be. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, actually that's it. Yeah.
Because I think it's more.
Consistency there was no consistency between the 2 semesters. But for me, it was good as well, because I had the opportunity to review my entire NST structure in between.
Overall question? Depends. I would go for 6 months as a recommendation. 6 months, and then depends on how you want to keep them or not. If you don't really want to keep them, you make them reapply. If you like them, you just say, if you say that you want to stay, you keep them. And you can re-evaluate at that point.
And the other thing to think about is that your term is like split in 2 parts, so maybe you can have a 6 month and then give them an opportunity to apply for team leader for the 2nd semester, giving them your NST, so that you will expand your NST team on the 2nd semester and have a bigger structure with them becoming team leader, because they have already a 6 month experience.
for this, I don't know. Like for the 6 month, I don't know, because it takes much. All the time, it takes a lot of time to create teams, and 6 months, then change, then expand, then like again the commission starting to work with new people that they don't know and they don't feel comfortable with. In the summer week, for me, it's, I don't know. For me, I don't consider. I mean, that's the idea that I have right now. I don't know how it will change, but I don't consider them as task force. I consider them as middle management. Me delivering them team standards and them handling everything, and me handling like putting all my efforts into this NST so that they can feel empowered or whatever, to empower their groups or clusters or whatever we're gonna call them. I don't know, because like I have a lot of talks with Google and I don't want to be contacted by 40 people. I want to make sure that people know who to contact from the very beginning till the very end.
But I think that depends a lot on the clarity of the NST.
Yeah.
Because for me, I prefer to have a split, to have 6 months experience of NST, and because the strategy that we have as a CCUP and the needs that we have as a CCUP in first semester are absolutely different than the needs that we have for second semester, and the profiles of people that we need are also totally different.
Depends on
NST in Colombia and in the my advantage was that my CCUP, that was the CCUP, she was so clear about my JD that she onboarded me in 1 week, and I was so clear that we have to dependencies, any relation. That was my tools that were going to be measured by me, and I think that is the effectiveness of NST comes a lot from having a clear strategy of the commission. So But it depends, like, I don't know.
Depends on the role you give them. Like for auditing, it's the same audit whether it's the first month or the last one. So for auditing, an example is that since it's always the same thing, the only thing is that at some point it might become boring. So for NST, but otherwise it's best to have them all year long because at least it's the same job, same auditor that is doing always the same thing. So that's always best.
Operations for the first semester, you have much operations happening, so you don't have like the same super to be giving. Doing an audit in like September, doing an audit in May, when you know like a lot of transactions that pass in the bank account is not the same. So like the level of the amount of that you have is at the end of the day not the same in the first semester and the second semester. So that's the reason why like these are things that needs to be taken into consideration in all of the functions. Like on the first semester, when you're doing the first semester is not at the same level, it's not the same. Not putting same focus on the same activity and the same intensity on all the activity between semester one and semester two.
It's also true that it changes a lot from back of the school.
Like, for example, what do you think about what I'm saying right now? Like, what do you think? What is your personal opinion of not having 6 months, but fully 1 month as team leaders? Sort of like, huh? 1 year, yeah.
Ready to start.
Like what?
I don't do. You, especially in your special position, your work is going to be way different. The way you work as an CVP or the CX for the first semester, semester two is two different positions. It's not intense in the same way. I think semester one is easy somehow regarding to compared to semester two. Semester two, you like. And semester one, so what you need is to get people on board to make sure that when you're going to that semester two, you have people that will be able to support you in a better way, and then you have people that will be like, hey, so you're not taking them from, you can have in mind of having them pipeline for, you can have an NST membership education, like membership experience, and have them, you think of having them for 1 year at the end of the day, but 6 months as a member, and then at the end of the 6 months, if either they want to apply to be team leader because you might want to have a structure with team leaders on the second semester, or you might want to ask them to do this. But not having them from now, like having them selecting them from now till the end of the term, because for you it's going to be complicated to handle.
And the other thing is to function as a community as you want. If they have like an amazing experience, not with you, not with the else that are working, they are in. But to find that compromise is tricky. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. For sure, it's not impossible, but it's tricky. In operations.
If you find VPs, it's easier. Like
yeah, but for me, why is it that what is the name of the VP exchange phone? Anyone? Why is he my coach if I'm the VP of him?
No, like for me, no turns. Not like, no elects. Because also the workload, like, no workload. But the fact, like, I wouldn't give MST. They're not full time. They're at school. And CXY is not a position that you do like your team management and NST. Maybe for like finance, but no, like no. No, because I know from Shara. Like she's doing everything at the same time. For me, it's not an option.
Yeah, it depends a lot in the client because as a CV, you are not supposed to be. But you are managing delivery, you are managing operations, you are managing the National Assembly, you are managing the PR affairs. It depends a lot on how you define the role. And how the person, how you help your NST to divide the workload and to simplify the work. Make it like really concrete and really.
I feel like for CXY, it's from CXY. It's better to have own, not correct on the term, because they have experience, they know how to run, they can more, and the currents, they are focusing on their team.
Yeah, one of the ideas that I was telling you, like, for this question, was to have the same information group to use the NST to rebrand it, and so you have already all the 17, 18 LCDPs here. You only add the LCDPs 18, 19 in this group, and you have this group is becoming like commissioning everyone in this group, and every one of my commissions here in the group supported if needed, like still in the shadows or not, to support if any of these aspects from the activities.
That was the Facebook.
Yeah, that is
Aspect
in the
of it.
Facebook group, yeah.
Well, it's this.
I have one more question. How hard is to find this? Because for me, as the again, I never been myself. It's a position on your own specific interest. So what's a good boundaries around this position?
For me, it depends on two things. Good timing, like for example, July is the month of having NST. Like a lot of people in terms, or they are doing it accepted from MCs that know a lot, they want to contribute. And the second thing is, like if you want to have good NSTs, recruit them yourself. And more these people from the federation, like tell them, like, yeah, like, hey, I want to be on NST, apply. That's how I was recruited for NST for the year. A person sent me an email, hey, I want you to apply for my NST. The contact is the contact. Because that makes you feel good when you are approached. So that is not difficult, but like you cannot, that was probably my mistake in France, you cannot wait that the people will apply because it's France. You need to go and pay them.
For me, it was that Taha Luchain was during the conference talking to them. Oh, hi, I have this position. I'm looking for this, and they were like, it's cool. And I joined Kara as well during a conference. And Anna was lucky. Whereas David shared it, I don't know where, and she came. that was Anna. But that's one out of all the answers that I had.
Question on
ECB?
KCD. So it's part of NST.
ECB depends. Every year is a different one-man show. Even the compendium is badly translated, so it doesn't mean anything what is written there. I'm sorry. And the way it's proposed and the way I believe it should be is ECB chair being voted and elected by General Assembly. Why? Because at least it's someone that LCPs trust and that LCPs will contact if in case something needs. And hopefully it's also when voting for the ECB chair is also for voting for his plan, what he wants to do with the ECB this year. And everyone agrees and everything on that. Otherwise, it's just a team that stays like it. He would have, the way I see it is a synergy with the MC, but entity control board, he would, accountable to this year is MCP finance. It can be MCPOD, it can be MCP, whoever feels up to the challenge. The idea also of not being the MCP operations, whether it's incoming or outgoing, is to have a second opinion. So if it's YAPRAC or CXP, the idea is that they can say in their favor, whereas if it's finance or someone else, they can say, okay, I see your point, but here I'll go in. It was selected. It was selected, but it's not in the company that he needs to be elected, but that's the way I already talked with David, that's the way I would propose for this term, for several reasons. Yes, of course. Several reasons. The ECB is very important. ECB chair.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
What do you think? How long do I have? Comments? Any more questions about ECB? ECB currently, as we are talking about this, we have possibly LCP from Grenoble Managing that also already told me that she will apply for ECB chair, possibly. It was a while ago, we need to retalk. Or else, big recommendation is Gianna. If she's ECB member now, she didn't want to be ECB chair, but if she becomes ECB chair, I would trust her like, wow, I don't know if Uba will agree. ECB chair, ECB case solving, ECB. I do not know even what Thomas is doing. Kind of like value delivery or something that. But for me, ECB is, and you can say if you don't agree. For me, ECB is a lot of, especially in the first semesters, prevention, how not to get EP cases, and then is solving EP cases.
To how communicate best way possible.
Also, I would say kind of, I don't know if this is the right definition, but legal audits, like checking that MVP signed a contract, MVP has insurance, that exchange channels are being delivered, and actually auditing that with the support of MC. How can we check? This year, yeah. This year we've been talking a lot, but we never did it, and it would be something amazing to push for the next ECB. So, like, really preventing, I don't know, like, I'm so pissed at India that I want to say, like, ECB saying no one goes to India. That would be like, yeah. So, and having a contract saying that if you go to India, it's not my fault.
Not my responsibility.
Okay. In the next 5 minutes, I have two things that I would like to see. First, you create a lot of tasks. How do you think? Do you want to go very fast of all of those tasks? How can you distribute them in a NST structure very fast? You have 1 minute per person to present that, or do you want some time to think about it? Okay, so I give you 1 minute to think about it. You get to think 1 minute and then 1 minute of presentation. And it's 40. You want 1 more minute?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just putting.
That's good. So 1 minute per person to present their NST team. First, Yaprak? Okay. Take 30 seconds.
Yeah, okay. I don't know what he has in mind, but so if the marketing people will be in my commission, I need a marketing manager person that will support in terms of marketing, and maybe will be more linked to Auto also in terms of support and education.
Okay.
That's for sure. And as I still on the page of kind of team leader, creating team leaders for on top of different criteria, like city-based business school on different realities. That would be for me ideal, because and based on reality and performance, and then dividing them. And also Ugo just told me account manager for EF, right? If it falls into my GD. So account manager for EF, and yeah, that's it. basically. And of course, this neck downscaling and everything, and IR downscaling, like information downscaling from the MC will be from the network managers.
Okay.
No, they are the team leader. Like I'm their team leader.
1 minute of feedbacks or ideas or whatever we can say about this.
The feedback is that the network managers, they have to involved. Network managers and network managers and
Project.
so, for example, you will need to do a lot of things. For example, creating models for education, creating a strategy. Like a lot of things that you can do with them. So, like to have double role, because like I network management is cool, but also to create also really nice proposal. So, if you can combine the release of that intent to be not just coaches, but also project managers. Organize. Like, for example, when I was in NST, I was NST expansions, but that was my project was to create the expansions strategy and expansions growth path of the United States. So it was like creativity and also.
And also, I want to say a lot of responsibility. No, when you say that as an ST, I have the power to create the strategy, the national strategy for everything, is like, whoa, I matter. That's important. Oh, damn. Okay, next one.
Okay. Definitely, team. And then one thing is data analysis. Going towards reports. But for that, I would like to know, how to do it first myself before getting someone else to do that. So just think about it. And let's see everything and do that.
So reporting someone to report.
Report analysis. That's like until that's when it goes like the timeline until I don't know how I'm gonna be able to kind of data reports I'm gonna need.
Okay. You want to say something?
For the data analysis is not more like, I don't know, my perception of it is Sona, you gather the data, you put on a sheet or whatever to get together, and once you do this on like a more the regular basis, you kind of see the evolution of it, and based on that, you can like.
The thing is, Sona is called the state of the national association. That really called Sona. The survey is just one of the links of information that should be created the Sona. But the Sona should be a report that we provide money that identifies things of operations, things of back office, cross-organization of the analysis, strategies. So for me, it would be interesting to have it because it's Sona survey is simple. You can analyze data of Sona survey is simple.
What is the data that you want?
Okay, so that. Remember that sorry, this is something that is called global denominator that is going to be done scriptwise in class. To identify in which cluster there is an LC, you need to identify 4, 5, 6, and depending on the product, if you have like 4 products open, you will identify like something index, different index, identify in which cluster and where the structure. So the Sona is just another link of information.
Okay. So the idea is together and we make a spreadsheet and then from there see what's the path to follow.
Okay, we are behind just to pause. One thing that I want to say here is really this year wasn't a big success, but try to make as big synergy as you can over here, because I would say that if we have financial standards, the survey, exactly. So really see how this can work together. Whether is it, I think we could have done better.
Yeah, but the thing like with the new model, the financial standards is the index. Is the same one. So it's a model.
That's why I was thinking about the LTs.
Cool. Aldo? No? Ladies first? Go.
Management, creation, and project management. And maybe have a sub-commission on financial standards implementation and where that one becomes to be more engaged. And that sub-commission will be in finances. And yeah, one accounting external advisor that comes each month to do the accounting and moderator.
And all the stakeholders, thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe one question. You said network management, but you said that you wanted to manage yourself the network also at some point. What's the difference? How would it work?
But then hosting it every day, things like that. Communication that will be
Okay. Any kind of feedback ideas?
For we need to because we create a financial company that we have people and it will have for projects. We need to understand how they not only in terms of creation and project management. It can be the so like their main role will be as like they understand like the financial model and support for the different. So they are not completely realistic, but they can support it.
Great. Cool. Aldo? Don't you want to share a little?
Honest, the instruments are to one part for digital, other part for management of what happened the commission on the LC. Digital, I prefer to have a content in here, not to manage because I think there will be different position and I don't want to focus, not focus, but you have the point, no? Probably there are people that are much better than me. So, social media manager, Facebook, advocacy, Instagram, and lecturing, and magari something about blog writer or this, and about commission management. I don't know if I will have a commission, I think that we need consultant, if we have commission. My idea of consultant is to maybe there's also work also arranging
Okay, go.
for different candidates. Days, school, and what the others? Yes, these other no. If yes. Brand ambassador because we need a Twitch Facebook pages. Bring alive, we can create a sort of audit. Yes, my beach. Market bomber, with market research, with data analysis, and this stuff. I don't want 50 people. For me, too much. Less.
The team of content and creation manage social media. It would be so pressure.
Yeah.
That can create content.
Totally.
Maybe. Yeah, the people who don't have Facebook.
Yeah, they can. That's also something that we need to understand is like where if you have a commission or you don't have a commission, where the interaction that you will have and how can this international society? Because your commission is to create them. You find something that we need to start to create content research. So in any other part, I like it a lot. The part of like developing values and the kind of analytics and the brand page. Very nice.
Honestly, what I envision is new position in the league really attractive to French people. Alumni and this now current people that experience is something really not a lot of running position. It's really
So time is up, and now to finish with a great thingy. Do you know this? Yeah, you all know them. So Aldo, since he knows them, is going to present them. This one, and then Marie-Emmanuelle is going to present this part, and then Prak is going to present this part. And Laura is saved because yes, Laura is saved because why? Because she was RCP. But you I know. It's not the last one.
no. Yes, of course.
So you already passed my test. It was a test. Thank you.
No, just that's something.
The thing is, no, one of the standards is that we release competence models, so they use some modifications on the same standard, but in the base that's the same that we have.
Okay.
It's just something of the model that the base, you need to be able to explain this.
It was Aldo, no? Yes. Oh, sorry. What I'm going to do, stop sharing. You're going to present to them that I'm not here. So the moment is
Okay, team creation, identity, no, there is identity.
in 2 words, how do we do a team identity? The session? No.
Are you sure?
Don't worry, you'll be next.
Team creation, team plan, and team.
Is it validated? You validate that?
Creation is team rules, no rules, expectation,
Colors, behavior,
is personal good setting, yes, plan activities. Oh, which was the last one?
Yeah, he did.
Because I didn't want people to get scared.
Which is the last one? Individual planning.
What is it?
PDP.
Yeah. Cool. Performing? Closing?
In
Okay.
the team creation, there is transition.
Yeah.
Cool. Performing?
I don't know. Team evaluation.
How many levels? 3.
First day should be okay.
Performing. So we have what? Team meetings?
We have results elevation, performance tracking, and support system. So, results elevation is all the part of education. Performance tracking is tracking monthly, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and every semester.
And support system is all the part of follow-up of the personal development plan, and one-to-ones and latest spaces. So you have the space and team leads. You have and team leads. You have in performance tracking like the one-to-one. No, that is not called one-to-ones. The performance reviews, multi-performance reviews, team meetings in terms of operations, and in support system you have like what is aligned to the personal development plan of the person.
Right. And what is the last one?
Closing.
Starts with starts with team debrief. Okay, so what was the results, plan versus achieved, blah, 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 evaluation of like whatever the team plan was. And the second one is transition. So you need to create a like pipeline and educate your pipeline. So basically, yeah, transition and a lot of information sharing and so on. And the last one is individual closing, sort of like evaluation of the personal development plan, individual debrief.
So the idea here is that you all have commissions, you all have commissions that will lead people that will need to implement this, and you want to implement this as well. And from this very fast thingy, no one knows them all, so you can all review them. Have fun.